And we have to understand that as long as everybody is feeling, as we say in Winfield, the Valachi crunch, and everybody can see it, as well as the rich can see, because how about you wake up in the morning, as I woke up one morning, and Robin on Good Morning America, she told the people in California that the banks, that they had the millionaires, that where they had their money, that the banks had closed, and they woke up broke. You go to bed with millions of dollars, and then all of a sudden you wake up with no dollars. So now you broke and unemployed, and your business is going under. So these are the things that people are beginning to wake up and see, because unemployment is based on greed. Famines are based on greed. See, to destabilize countries, greed. And that's what's going on the earth today, and it's really prevalent in America, which is fastly becoming a third world country.
Okay. Next question. Education. We're familiar with Brown versus the Board of Education. We're familiar with Plessy versus Ferguson. Plessy versus Ferguson was a Supreme Court case where blacks wanted to be able to ride on boxcars, trains with Caucasians. Brown versus the Board of Education in Topeka, Kansas, that dealt with a family who wanted their young daughter to be able to go to school, go to white schools. With the No Child Left Behind law in America today, you know that when we were children, if we did not qualify ourselves, if we didn't make the grade, we got left back. We didn't go on to the next grade. But as a result of No Child Left Behind, children are being graduated from school, 12th grade, and they do not have the ability to read and write. Now, America is now changing from a service-oriented economy, society, and culture to an information age. This is how America is now generating her capital and making her money, because she is selling information. Now, America was first, number one, in education around the world. She has now slipped to number 28th. However, we have folks coming from abroad, and they have been coming from abroad to get the American education. So on one hand, America has slipped from 1 to 28th, but on the other hand, education is very beneficial to others. The question is, since it appears that blacks, Hispanics, people of color, and poor whites are the ones who are slipping through the crack, through No Child Left Behind, being graduated without the ability to read or write, will not be able to function in an information age system, how do you feel, or what do you think we as so-called Americans, parents of children, what should we do to make sure that our children are able to read and write in an information age system? Minister Yusef?
First of all, education comes from the word el duce. Duce means to lead out of ignorance. You can't lead our people out of ignorance by creating a situation for our people to move them in a position where they're being trained, not educated. They're being trained to be used by the system, not being educated. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was educating us to do something for self. So this system is designed to keep you ignorant. They don't want you to be educated because they don't want you to be independent.
Mr. Haleem?
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that he who gives you the circumference of your knowledge gives you the dynamics, the diameter of your activities. Meaning, well, if they know what they put in, they know what they can get out. If they are not putting anything in these children, then they're doomed to failure. And then crime and unemployment is on a rise, and murder and anything illegal becomes the order of the day.
Okay.
Here in Philadelphia, the Youth Study Center, which was on 22nd and the Parkway has now moved to 48th and Haverford. They're building a brand new youth prison between 48th and Haverford and Market. It's going to be a very huge prison for youth. Okay, so these left behind kids are going to be the recipients of and residents of the Youth Study Center, because they have nothing to stand on, because the American educational system is a complete failure. It has nothing. It has produced nothing but thieves, robbers, and murderers on every level. Even when you go into the higher levels of education, the Madoffs and the man up here, Bernie Madoff up in New York, with the Ponzi schemes and things like that, they produce thieves.
Yes, sir.
See, that's what the educational system. You're a thief, or you're a robber, or you're nothing, or a bandit, and that's what the American society likes to produce, because this is the prevailing thoughts for a people of color, because you're supposed to be that way. You're not supposed to have anything, because the Constitution says that we are 3/5 of a human being. So we were legislated out of the human family. Therefore, once being legislated out of the human family and being classified as 3/5 of a human being by the founding fathers of America, we are doomed for education, because they're not going to teach 3/5 of a human being, because you're on the levels of cattle and animal. So if they can't learn, why should you learn? Why should they spend money to educate you when you're not going to do anything that they perceived of good that will help America?
Yes, sir. Knowing that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was very successful in the education of our people, he had 47 universities of Islam. Both ministers, share with us, why was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad so successful? Minister Yusef.
Because he was taught by God directly. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was taught by the Grand Master of the universe. Master Farad Muhammad was the supreme conscious individual personality. Right?
Yes,
he came and raised Elijah out of the muck and the mud and taught him how to raise us out of that condition. That's why you had a Malcolm X. That's why you had a Minister Farrakhan. Because you all come from the mind of Master Farad Muhammad.
Yes, sir. Mr. Haleem.
What brother is said is absolutely true. We must remember that we have to educate our own, because we can't always read his story, his history. What about our history? Why is it that Black History Month is on the shortest month of on the calendar, on February, the shortest month? We have to. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad set up an educational system that would elevate the intelligence of school-age children, because they had a specific teachings and education that would elevate their minds, because it was something that they could identify with. In today's society, in all societies of education, children cannot identify with their teachers, for one, the curriculum, because the curriculum doesn't make sense to them. In these days, I've heard teachers say that when we were growing up in the 60s, and when I was in 4th and 5th grade, I would hear teachers say they would spend a half hour, 2 or 3 hours on lesson plans. How much time do you think these teachers that they spend on lesson plans to map out a roadmap for the year, or just for a quarter for the children? They don't, because they don't care, because this is a fast-paced society. No one has time.